Oh my god, almost 100k on the Chainsaw Man video, you guys are killing it! To follow up on my Makima vs Gojo video, I decided to talk about who would win in an all-out fight between the protagonists of Chainsaw Man and JiuJitsu Kaizen. For Yuji vs Denji, we'll be looking at who would win in a normal fight, and then throw in a bonus round which would be deciding who would win stats equalized. Also, Sukuna negs Chainsaw Man pretty badly. It's not really a battle, and that's not Yuji anyway, so I will not be mentioning him in this battle.
Tyler, actually binding vows allows him to use Sukuna for 1 minute, so technically it's a part of his standard equipment.
Shut up, you f***ing geek. Let's start off with the JiuJitsu Kaizen section this time. Yuji Itadori is a 15-year-old kid who, after eating a finger, had no other choice but to learn the ways of curse energy. This allowed Itadori, who was already shown to be literally superhuman borderline, to become an entirely different beast. As far as abilities go, we know JiuJitsu sorcerers can use curse energy to enhance their attacks, durability, and speed, along with even protecting them from curse techniques that affect the soul. Speaking of techniques, some of Itadori's main attacks consist of the Divergent Fist, an attack that allows Yuji to hit someone with twice the impact, and he can even delay the hits to take into effect in a different part of the fight, which was shown in the final fight with Mahito. And he also has access to the Black Flash technique, which allows Yuji to tap into his full potential and overwhelm the opponent. As far as resistances go, we know he has a crazy tolerance to poison, but besides that, there's nothing really else to know here for his abilities. Yuji during Goodwill displayed the ability to harm Hanami, who should be in the same tier as Dagon and Jogo, who both, with their domains, generate enough energy to destroy a mountain. However, I do not think Yuji has directly shown scaling to said domain, and it's implied Jogo would have even hurt Sukuna with his meteor attack, who Yuji does not scale to. So I find this to be a little weird. He probably would scale to the characters themselves, however, you can't really say he just upscale from their domain straight up. Because there's also other factors to take into account, like the fact that Jogo would probably just turn him into a fucking Hot Pocket. The most concrete scaling that I can use without making any assumptions would be saying Yuji upscales from the likes of Mekamaru, who can generate lasers that are powerful enough to destroy multiple city blocks. Yuji by the end of this arc would upscale from this, and he's only been getting more powerful since then. As for his speed, even before his curse training, he can speed blitz curses, allowing him to be easily faster than the human eye. After learning curse energy and participating in the Goodwill event, it's revealed he's more agile than Maki, and Maki being able to practically blitz bullets at high hypersonic speeds. Yuji in base, and then obviously upscaling with Black Flash, would scale to this. And in the arc prior, Nanami can react to Mahito at over Mach 144, putting his speed in the massively hypersonic tier. Yuji scales to this by like episode 10, so he's clearly way faster than this, but I can't really quantify exactly by how much. Just know it's above Mach 144. Now, Denji is someone I've talked about in prior videos, but for this matchup, we need to take into consideration that Denji's scaling does change with the forms he's in. In base, Denji gets one-shot by Gun Aki's attacks, who's capable of destroying large buildings, but we see in his Chainsaw Man form, he can withstand his attacks somewhat. And he also scales to other large building level calcs like the Bat Devil's attack, Rize's bomb, Aki's bullets, the Typhoon Devil, etc. Also, there are variations of the Bat Devil Blast being potentially multi-city block, which is really the farthest I can say this version of Denji's AP goes. However, this isn't his full power, guys. True Chainsaw Man legit just farts on Makima and is said to be the most powerful devil multiple times, and regardless of the interpretation, he is upscaling from these devils, whether you like it or not. Plus, he bops Makima, who scales to the Gun Devil. The Gun Devil who can leave a path of destruction across the country, being calculated at small city level. And I didn't mention speed really due to really only one calc mattering, which is Beam reacting to Rize, which both versions of Chainsaw Man would scale to, allowing Denji to combat and react at over Mach 183. But I will mention this feat for full powered Chainsaw Man, who's capable of reacting to Makima's blast at Kobeni over 3 times the previous speed feat I mentioned. I also didn't want to mention his hacks at the beginning of the video like I did with Yuji, because for one, I've already made a video legit just discussing his abilities, and I wanted to just barrage them all at one go. He has chainsaws, can use the chains in said chainsaw to restrain his opponent from a distance, has regenerative capabilities like being able to restore half his body, limbs, and even reform around his own heart, and for some reason in his true state, he has the ability to legit erase you from existence entirely if he eats you. Don't ask me why he has it, he just does. From the looks of it, ladies and gentlemen, it is not looking good for the boy Itadori. I feel like Yuji would fold the early versions of Denji, especially by Shibuya, but I think the farthest he would get is like beating this version of Chainsaw Man, but he wouldn't beat the one that fought Makima in the final fight or his full powered state. And even the version that he beats, that version is still technically faster than him, so it's not going to be easy. And in equal stats, there's really nothing Yuji can do against the likes of being erased from existence, and if bro's in a pickle, he could just kick his own heart and reform around it. He also has better range and overall just more going for him in this battle. Rip my goat, bro. How could they massacre my boy? And if you fat JJK fans really want to say he can use Sukuna for a minute in a normal fight, then you know what? I'll let you cope and say that he does win, even though they are two completely different characters. Sukuna wins, guys.